Good morning and welcome to the Restaurant Profit Coach podcast. I'm your host, Al Kanbar, and this show exists for one reason to help independent restaurant owners like you to stop leaving money on the table and start running more profitable business. Today is very special. This is episode not one, episode zero. And I could not have asked for a better guest to kick off this podcast. My guest today went from being pediatric occupational therapist to helping restaurants dominating Google and take back their sales from third-party delivery apps. Her name is Sharon Sen, and she's a business development at Honor.com, a platform that has driven over $100 million in direct online orders for independent restaurants. Sharon, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you, Al. I'm super honored to be here. I'm really excited to chat with you today. And yeah, excited for what's in store.
Amazing. So I want to hear your story, your journey. Before you dive in, I just want to have like 30 second. Tell me who you are and what you do today.
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Sharon Sin. Currently, I am the partnership associate at Owner.com. I manage our entire referral partner program, which is our dedicated program for agencies, consultants, freelancers who support the hospitality industry. And a quick fun fact about me, I recently started pottery. It's very difficult, but it's very fun.
That's amazing. I know you have a master degree in an occupational therapy from USC, and we spoke about that earlier this month. And you spent some year working for the pediatric therapy clients. This is very different world from restaurant tech and sales. So walk us through this transition. And I know now pottery is additional to the yoga and some other stuff I knew about you, but what was the turning point that led you here?
Yeah, great question. My background's super different. It's funny. I still have my license as an occupational therapist. I just obviously don't practice anymore. So, um, I loved occupational therapy. Such fulfilling work. It really has a special place in my heart still. But I was doing it for several years, and I just knew that in the pit of my stomach, I just felt this feeling that I wanted to do something different. And I got into healthcare because I really wanted to help people. And I knew I still wanted to do that, but I was really interested in technology. And I think just the way that tech is constantly changing and evolving, I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of. And I actually found my way into sales because I had a really good friend who was already working in tech sales, and he recommended, like, well, I think you would really enjoy it, just the way you like talking to people and your personality. So when I was doing research to figure out, what type of tech do I want to work in, I actually landed on restaurant tech because my dad had a restaurant growing up. It was like a small little teriyaki shop. Yeah, I spent weekends and summers helping out there. And when I figured out the kind of potential there was to help independent restaurant owners, it just immediately resonated with me. And I knew this is where I have to be. So here I am today.
I never knew that on the teriyaki place, and you are part of the hospitality people. So now I knew because there is 100 of companies there, and you were saying it. You bet your career on, and why specifically Honor.com?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was just, doing a lot of research, and what really stood out to me about Owner was the mission and like the commitment to supporting independent restaurants. We like to say, arming owners to take on their Goliaths, being, major corporations, marketplaces, humongous companies that, have billions of dollars, gigantic war chests, and the average independent operator, even like a regional chain, they cannot compete with that. And so the way that Owner really levels that playing field, and gives those best practices to um, our local operators, like that really stood out to me because I mean, my dad, bless his heart, was like a really stubborn guy. No technology. He's like, I'm going to work really hard. That's going to be good enough. But I mean, to have a profitable restaurant today, it is so different than when it was, 10, 20, even 5 years ago. It's very different. And
Pre-COVID is
so
different than post-COVID.
yeah, absolutely. And there's just so many challenges. And so when I came across Owner, I was just really blown away by the way that they address so many different challenges, but really just the mission that I could feel that they really cared about operators and to really empower them and help them in a meaningful way.
This is was your aha moment, let's say.
Yeah, it's funny because when I actually was interviewing at Owner, I had an offer from a completely different company. But I found Owner like while I was researching, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to apply here. Like this is it." And so um it was really funny that I even went through that process, but it actually really worked out because I feel like it has been such a great experience to work here and it really does fill my cup, so to speak. So, it's been really great.
100%. We've met through honor.com and we had different clientele. Some of them made it, some of them unfortunately did not have the chance. And we're still online waiting on the people who to come in and join honor.com. But what restaurant owner get wrong first? So how when you're talking about restaurant owner for the first time, okay, what is the number one mistake you see them making online that quietly costing them sales more, costing them sales every single day? So you talk to restaurant owners every day, and I'm sure you have ton of those calls every day. So what do you see number one mistake they do?
That's a great question. I love answering this because I feel like it's so underrated. The single biggest mistake that I see restaurant owners making online is not paying attention to their digital presence. And when I say that, I mean, can I find your restaurant online when I'm hungry and searching for food in your area? And what we find in, the hundreds of conversations we have with restaurant owners is most people are almost invisible digitally speaking. And it's not because they don't have good food or they don't have good service. Most of the time they do. But it's because their website and their Google business profile are not properly set up in a way where Google understands what you do and the types of areas that you service so that it can actually send traffic to you um, and hungry customers your way. And it's really important because, if you're not ranking towards the top of Google, you are missing out on hundreds, if not thousands of eyeballs every single day just because your website hasn't been formatted properly. So, huge mistake that we see every single day that I really think more people should know about.
I know, and it's a fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, because Google itself can give to restaurant owner, especially to independent restaurant owner, more new customers than Instagram, Facebook, Yelp, all of them combined. Because you work on SEO, and we will talk about the SEO mass buster and how it is it. Today, lots of restaurant owner hear SEO and their eyes just glaze out. They think it's too technical, too expensive, or only for big chains. What's the simplest way to explain why SEO matter for a single location restaurant, let's say in Fort Myers or in anywhere that is not underserved area, but in a way is not major city? What's mean SEO for them?
Yeah, this is a great question. Usually, when we talk about SEO, people say, oh, this is search engine optimization. That's a really long term. And like, you're right. People just are like, okay, I don't understand. This is too technical. Why do I care? And so, when we talk about SEO, it's so important because it basically, in a nutshell, it means can people find you online when they're hungry looking for food? And let's say we're talking about somebody in Fort Myers even in a dense metropolitan area, it's obviously still really important, but if you're in more of like a local or like a suburban community even, it's arguably even more important because people are always looking for food online. Google is still the number one search engine when it comes to new restaurant discovery. And what people do is that they usually just type in where they are and what they want to eat. And so if your website is not formatted to say, hey, we have the best pizza in Fort Myers, Google is not going to recommend you. And so most of the time people think, well, like, I need more business, I need more customers. And to that, we say, you need better SEO because now people can actually find you if you're doing all these things right. The other reason it's so important is because maybe you have a big menu or you don't just serve pizza. Maybe you also serve wings or you also serve burgers, for example. And maybe not just in Fort Myers, but like the city over, people could still find you. Your SEO means that you need to target those different things. So anybody looking for the combination of the food you serve or the cities and neighborhoods around you, that you can get those customers to your restaurant and in turn get more sales.
Question: what's your best pizza, favorite pizza, and where you get it from?
Ooh, great question. My favorite, actually, a very long time ago, I went to Florida and I had Mr. Owen pizza, and it was really, really good. The star pizza with the little pocket, that blew my mind. I would go back in a heartbeat if there was one in California.
Are they your client?
No, no, I went like on a vacation. This is before I worked at Owner, so this is a
No,
long
but
time ago.
are they your client today?
I don't think so. I could actually look it up. This would be
So
a
that
good.
that new combination we need to work on to get Mr. On to you.
Yes, this would be a good one.
That's amazing. So when we talk about third-party delivery platforms, friend or foe, because DoorDash, Uber Eat, Grubhub, and restaurant, they feel like they cannot live without them. They're giving away 30% margin, and I know some people give more than that. It comes to 46% margin. So how does Honor.com help operators start reclaiming those direct sales without burning bridges with those platforms? Because I don't want to mess up with my Uber Eat. Uber Eat is making me 70%, 30%, 10%, whatever percentage. But how could Honor.com, okay, help those operators?
That's a great question. And this is a question we get all the time. When people say that they have these platforms and, they are really committed to working with them, but they are losing so much money from them. It's really painful, especially because in this, this economy, like food prices are skyrocketing. It's really hard, to like find good labor, minimum wages increasing. There's a lot of challenges when it comes to keeping your margins. And so when you're paying a company 25, 30%, 40%, there is nothing to take home after that. And, how are you supposed to run a profitable business if you don't have any money coming in? When we see a restaurant working with these platforms, we say that's fantastic. You don't have to stop working with them. But the challenge is, how do we give your customer something that's just as easy to use, just as convenient, but is actually more affordable for everybody involved? Because most of the time we wonder, why would I pay 40% more for the same food just to have it, like wouldn't people not buy that food? And most people, they say like, I don't want to work with that because, I don't think people will actually do it. But I mean, the data tells us differently. People want the convenience and they're willing to pay for it. So what that tells us is that, we shouldn't fight these guys, still use them, but give your customers a better, more efficient channel so that, they can get more fair pricing. You can actually get their customer data so that you can remarket to them. But now you don't have to lose this 25, 30, 40% on every single order because you have something in place that is just as easy to use, if not more rewarding for the customer.
So where do you see that percentage go down to how far?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. We work with operators who, say they'll do anywhere from like a couple of thousand in sales a month through these platforms, and some of our operators do like 20, 30,000 a month in
I know
sales.
someone with you made $100,000, and we spoke about it earlier.
Yeah,
If,
I
if,
mean,
if, if you can share a story without naming name if needed, or you can share names of a restaurant that came from to Honor.com struggling and what transformation looked like, what changed for them.
yeah, I would love to actually share. This is a customer that I actually worked with directly. Um, They actually were they had 3 locations, and they were a pizza shop, and
Again,
they were
pizza.
actually. What was that?
Again, pizza.
I know, what a coincidence, just lots of pizza today. Maybe I should eat pizza for dinner later. Um, this pizza concept was doing upwards of 30,000 a month in third-party sales, and they were paying about $300 for a marketing software to do emails. And the problem was that they were not seeing their sales increase, and they didn't know how to have something better directly online. I mean, they tried online ordering on their website, but it didn't really work. It was really outdated. And they didn't, have the time or energy to learn how to do this all by themselves. And so when we were talking to them, we found out that they were losing about $8,000 a month indirect in those commission fees through these platforms. But they were really scared because if we stop working with them, then we're not going to get any sales. But if we keep working with them, then we're not making any money. So it's a tough place to be. So when we actually started working with them, we actually redid the whole digital presence. We're working on the SEO to make sure. Um, People could actually find them. And then actually, what we're finding is that they have been able to convert a lot of these sales to order directly. And they've been saving like six, seven, 8,000. It's been increasing every month in those commission fees. Yeah, because the customers just want the convenience, right? So if you can make it easy for them to find you, you give them a really good user experience, and then you have systems in place that will keep them, keep your business top of mind, they'll keep coming back. You just gotta give them a reason to keep ordering.
Amazing, fantastic. Let's say if a restaurant owner listening today or listening right now, take if a restaurant owner listening right now and took one action this week to improve their online presence, what you would tell them for free today, not was required.
Yeah. I would tell them to look up their digital presence online. We have a really great free tool. It's called greater.owner.com. And we'll actually drop like a free link into the description where you can actually run a free full scan of your restaurant online. And it'll actually tell you everything that you need to do to be able to find more customers online and to drive more visibility to your business. You don't have to pay; it's completely free. And I would highly recommend any restaurant who is serious
Can they
about growing
save
their
this
sales.
data?
Yeah, they can have the report sent to them directly. So um, this is something that we just want people to have the information. So we're
Amazing.
happy to, yeah, to have that given out to people.
That's amazing. So today, with with all the changing of AI, okay, SEO has changed. How Google surface those local search results. What do you think about independent restaurant need to think about in the next 12 to 14 months to stay competitive? To be competitive online is not easy. There is way too many platforms. There is no way too many social media. What your advice to them? What do you think restaurant owner need to be thinking about that in the next uh, year, let's say?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like technology is changing every single day. It's hard to keep up sometimes. And quite honestly, even Google's algorithm is changing constantly. So when we talk about how to stay competitive, digitally speaking, it's really, really important to make sure that, again, you have systems in place. You know, as a restaurant operator, most of the time there's no time to be an expert in how to do all of this yourself. So getting systems and providers that you can really trust to help you improve this, even though things like AI and Gemini, ChatGPT, all these different large language models are coming out, they still reference Google. So it's very important still to have good Google SEO so that you can be showing up in those types of searches too. Obviously there's a lot more to it, but for the average restaurant owner, I would say definitely focus on your SEO. Make sure that you have a lot of the right things built into the back end. Some quick and easy examples that you'll probably see on that tool that I mentioned earlier. Do you have a proper H1 tag that tells Google what you do? Do your images have alt tags? Do you
Second,
have
what's the H1 tag?
Oh,
We talk about H1
yeah.
tag, and now we're not talking in restaurant anymore because we
Yeah, yeah.
understand that tomato. So what's the H1 tag? I would love to know.
Yeah, yeah. Without getting too technical, if your website was like a newspaper, and there's a big headline on top, that is basically what your H1 tag is for your
Ah,
website.
nice.
And Google scans billions of websites a day, so this H1 tag is the fastest, easiest way to tell Google this is what my business does and this is where we are.
So
But what
the
we
name on top, let's say, uh, the restaurant name on top, this is the H1 tag, not
This
the
is a
company.
great assumption, but I'll actually tweak it for you. People might not know your restaurant's name. So you want the H1 tag to be a little more specific, maybe best Mexican food in Fort Myers. This is an H1 tag that tells you exactly what people are going to be searching. So Google has no problem to send people to your business.
So it's very important this H1 tag to be assigned to the SEO because I'm sure and I know that pictures need to be assigned to SEO so people Google can read it because Google cannot read the picture, cannot see picture. They screen and they scrape, if I'm saying it right, and they put it on. So when you put, let's say, pizza near me or Italian pizza, Napolitan pizza, deep dish pizza, if your picture doesn't have those names, it goes in, correct?
This is exactly right. Just like you said, Google's a robot. It's not a person like me and you. It doesn't have eyeballs that can see this picture. So you actually have to spell it out for Google on the back end of your website and say, hey, this is a Neapolitan pizza. It has these toppings, et cetera, et cetera. And it actually has to be like about 100 characters. So there's a lot of nuance here. And so I don't want to scare people who are listening to think like, oh my God, I don't know how to do all of this. This is really overwhelming. But what I will say is that if you're going to look for help to improve your digital presence, the best piece of advice I can give to anybody is ask a lot of really detailed questions. How are you going to help me rank higher on Google? What does that mean? What are you going to do? What kind of results can I expect to see? If anybody gives you any kind of weird or vague answers, I would probably walk away if they're not able to really clearly explain how they're actually going to help your business. I think with AI, there's a lot of people just throwing buzzwords, and so it's easy to, um, for people to hear certain things and think, "Oh, wow, this is going to be great," but just always ask really thoughtful questions before you go looking for help.
Yeah, you need to ask the right question. Even though in ChatGPT you don't put in prompt just something vague. You need to ask the right question to get the right details. So, what is it the one belief about online sales, marketing, or running a restaurant that you wish every independent operator would change it today?
This is a great one. I really do think that the most important thing, I'll actually just kind of go back to the one of the points we mentioned earlier is making sure that you can be found online. I personally think that this is so important because if you have great food, maybe you have like, even if you did have a good ordering experience, but if people couldn't find your business, they wouldn't even make it to the other steps, where they could enjoy your food or they, think you have great service. It's really about capturing them in the very beginning. So I would definitely recommend, and I think also because this is such a big area that a lot of restaurant owners aren't able to really do on their own typically. It usually takes a little bit of help or time or effort. So I would definitely recommend, anybody um, to spend a little time just to learn a little bit more. Our YouTube channel, for example, learnwithowner.com, we have a lot of really great free content. So again, you don't have to pay. Like we just want to give free content and education out there. If you're interested in learning how to improve your business and making sure that people can actually find you, this is definitely going to be my top recommendation to any operator.
They say before when you have PDF menu and heavy picture, it takes time to load. Is it one of the things also they need to look at it? SEO, it helps big time. But again, if your website is not organized well, if your website has PDF menu, and those steps, it really hurt Google. It doesn't hurt Google, but it takes time to load Google to see it, to search it. Am I right? because that's
Yeah.
what you want to avoid when you see that you need to be present online. Okay, my website, my cousin did it or my niece did it or anyone did it, just doesn't help, I believe.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here. And it's nobody's fault, right? But, we definitely hear a lot of the time, my daughter's boyfriend made our website or my cousin made it. And, sometimes people just need help and there's nothing wrong with that. But to your point, like for example, a slow load time, when you have like big video files or maybe like big PDFs and it takes a long time for your website to load, Google actually sees this and starts to punish your website because it's looking
They
to
kick
see,
you
can
out.
it load? Yeah, yeah, it doesn't like to see that. So, another really useful tip is that, if you are going to have your menu, I would not recommend a PDF unless you're savvy enough to format like all of the words onto it, because again, now it's an image and Google can't read that picture. So, any of your menu items that could serve as keywords, maybe tacos, burritos, enchiladas, everything on there, Google can't understand any of that. And so you really need to build that in a way where Google can collect this information and so it knows what you serve rather than just putting it in a way it can't actually understand.
Look, my question is still technical. How often you have to change your website, and how often um, owner.com help me as a restaurant owner to upgrade my website, because I know there's always new technology, always new AI, and SEO change through the time. So how can I be in a way that I'm with technology, I'm working with owner.com helping me? What do I need to do? Do I need to change? Do I need to ask my cousin or my daughter boyfriend to come and change it? So how it goes?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll use owner.com as an example. The benefit of what we do at Owner, Al, is that we actually have dedicated teams of SEO engineers. We have designers and um, a full team of the best in class in tech. And our team is actually running thousands of split tests across the thousands of restaurants we work with to figure out what is the absolute best, maybe the best H1 tag or the best placement for this call to action. Where should all of these little buttons and pieces go so that we can check, is this going to give you the absolute best performance to your sales? And so the caveat actually is that it is not fully customizable. You cannot add every widget and wobble to this website that you want, but it's because we have done the research to figure out some of these things we know work. And we don't want you to have to research that. So you actually can't change some of it. But we actually, we really stand by that because it takes the guesswork off of the operator and it lets us continue testing and experimenting to figure out what really works for them. So, if a restaurant does work with us, they don't have to do, a lot of this work on their own. Our team is actually continuing to research, what is new with AI? What is new with SEO? How can we implement this to our websites? And we continue optimizing and improving the platform for all of our customers so they can focus on what they love to do, which is making great food and, entertaining their guests and, providing a really great experience for them.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I will be off technology and I will give it away to someone who know better than me, I'm sure. And they will run my website and all stuff. And I knew you tag the website and all the details, and I don't need to do anything. But how often should I come back to you and ask you, hey Sharon, I'm not receiving this much email, I'm not receiving, sorry, this much orders. What can I do if I have a campaign that I want to launch, if I have a questionnaire, how honor.com help me? Because for me, yes, I want to be present online, but also I want to grab more sales. Today is Mother's Day, next week, or not next week, this weekend. So how can I send it? And today, funny thing, one of the restaurant I know with the POS system, they're sending a message. They're sending me an email. And the headline, which is the H1, it says, restaurant increase sales for Mother's Day. I know it's not funny, but it's funny. And I said, how could this POS system or this platform send it? So
Yeah.
what Honor.com does to avoid these mistakes, and sometimes it's costly. Yes,
Yeah.
bad mistake can be good reputation at the end of the day because
Yeah.
there will people stop speak about it. But how Honor.com helped me as a restaurant owner today for Mother's Day, for Easter, for whatever coming to promote my menu, to promote those stuff.
Great question. So we actually, earlier we talked a lot about SEO, which is getting new customers. And then we talked about making it easy to order, directly from the business, which we do through like the direct online ordering. We make a mobile app. But now but your question more about like how do we like keep that relationship going?
Correct.
We actually collect all of the customer data for our restaurants, and we actually have automated campaigns that are working in the background. So Mother's Day is a great example. We already have an email campaign that our product marketing team has thoroughly tested to figure out this is the type of messaging, this is the type of promotion that people are going to respond to. So we automatically send that out on behalf of any of our customers. And we have them for pretty much every major holiday, food holiday, even things like customer behavior. So maybe I started putting stuff in my cart and I forgot to place my order. We'll automatically send a message and say, hey, you never checked out. Don't forget about, the ramen and the rice bowl that you put in your cart. Check out now. And we have a call to action. Another example is, maybe I haven't ordered with you in a couple of weeks here. We would send automated messages to say, hey, it's been a while. We know that you love, this item. We would love to recommend, this one too. We think you would like it. So we're always sending these messages in the background, and the nice part is because again, we do that testing and all that research, we know like what type of messaging works, in terms of open rate, click rate, people actually placing an order to buy your food. And then also if you wanted to send your own, maybe like, for example, I'm a barbecue restaurant and we have a special, like we're doing smoked brisket until we sell out today.
Oh
You
my
can
God, I love it.
actually yeah, me too. It's my favorite. You can actually send your own one-time text or email, and you can make it. We use AI where you really just fill in like two or maybe like three different fields. It spits out a nice newsletter, and you can just send that to everybody. But very worst case, Al, if you are a busy guy, you can always just call our support team. We are always happy to help any of our customers with these types of questions.
That's amazing. I know we're working together for at least 2 years now, and we had lots of customers together. And now the most important, where can our listener, restaurant owners, restaurant operators connect with you after this episode? How they can connect with you and where you want them to connect? I'm sure you will send it to me. I'll put it on the notes, but I would love to hear it from you as well, where you want them to connect and how.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, talk to anybody who's interested in learning more. You can reach me on my LinkedIn. I'm Sharon Sin. Or if you'd like to send me an email, sharon.sin@owner.com. Feel free to shoot me a message, and let me know that you listen to Al's podcast. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be able to chat with you. I personally love working with you. So you're like a ball of sunshine in a person.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, that's amazing. That's amazing. Honor.com has changed lots of people's life, I'm sure. And I don't know if there's anything specific you'd like to talk about it on the show that have not covered above. Any topic that are especially close to your heart right now, what you feel that restaurant owners, operators need to hear it from you.
Yeah. Um, Definitely. I mean, I think we covered a lot today in our podcast. I think that the one thing I would recommend for, again, any restaurant operator is, to be open-minded to the idea that there are resources and systems that can make their life easier. I think, one of the reasons I love working with you, Al, so much is that you do such great work with your clients, like consulting, operationally in the restaurant. Like that is so important. And I definitely think a lot of restaurant operators need that help really, really badly. A good complement to that, though, is the digital side of their business too, where you don't have to babysit it, you don't have to DIY, learn everything by yourself. Something that's going to work for you and help you to continue scale and grow your business. So, like I said, if anybody's interested in learning more about how we personally do that, would be happy to share more. You're welcome to reach out anytime. But I definitely think that because the economy has just been so difficult. It's just such a difficult time to have a restaurant, that it's really important to be open minded to different things that could really help your business to grow and flourish.
Amazing, amazing. Sharon, this has been an incredible conversation. The fact, you went from helping children develop through occupational therapy to now helping restaurant owner develop their business online. This journey is truly inspiring, and we spoke earlier when we were with my client that they do Down syndrome, and we were doing a survey for them. And I heard you. That's impressive. That's impressive. Now, for every restaurant owner, if there's anything or one thing I want you to take away today, that Google is your most powerful tools, and you are probably not using it. Sharon and the team at honor.com can change that. Sharon, is there any last thought you want to share with our people, our listener about honor.com?
Off the top of my head, just that, we are really, really committed to building the absolute best in class for independent operators. I mean, if my dad still had his restaurant, he would have signed up like immediately. So,
Because your
um,
daughter, because of his daughter, because of honor.com.
no, because I believe so strongly in what we do here that I just think that there are so many restaurants who could really benefit from a service that helps them become more profitable. I mean, we've seen restaurants, go from a food truck to over 20 locations. I mean, this is another example of the real potential that businesses have when they have the right tools and systems in place. So I just feel super passionate about it, and the possibilities when you do have something that is proven and known to work.
Fantastic. Last year we work at on a specific restaurant. I don't want to say it was pizza, but we work at a specific restaurant, and we moved their sales from $49 a day to $600 a day. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
There's a big opportunity. And thank you again. And we'll have all these links in the show notes. Sharon, I cannot thank you enough for being my first guest on the Restaurant Profit Coach podcast. This one, I'm sure, is going to be remembered, especially we are just days from the restaurant show, National Association show, where I see Tina and the other team. Uh,
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. Thank you again. And we're looking forward to work with you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much again for having me. It's such a pleasure. If anybody listening is going to NRA, the National Restaurant Bureau, owner.com will be there. Come find us. Our team would love to meet with you and chat with you. But thank you again, Al. This is so much fun. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week and great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.